calm before the storm. Things aren't as they were before. You best start bracing. Did you think you could keep us out? Shut the gates, forget us now. Tides are changing. Can you hear the sound? Can't stop us now. We're not back in town, know what we're doing. Things are about to change, it's evolution. Voices shake the ground, you feel it moving. We're the revolution. Can you hear the sound?
Hey, how's everybody doing? Thanks for coming to hang out with me. Oh, so we got some stories to talk about. So just wanted to spend the evening with y'all and laugh about some crazy ass things that are going on. So, Oki, thanks for being here. Emmy, rock a bit. I know. So those of you who don't know, I did get a tattoo yesterday, a small one, but our neighborhood does they call it a summer soiree, and there's a tattoo shop that does flash tattoos. So last year I signed up, they called me, and I chickened out. This year I'm like, I'm fucking getting that tattoo. So I kind of am starting maybe an arm of traditional tattoos, so we'll see. But Rockabit says, damn, AMAC, now I want another tat. So, Flo, soulmate. Hey, Lisa. Hey, K-Brace, good to see you. Hey, Robin. Yeah, so much happened this week. So, I mean, I might not even be talking about what you might be referring to, but we'll see. Hey, Sinner. All right. So first things first, I know I introduced you guys to the garbage bell last time, so we'll throw her in there. But other fun news is I got, I guess, like an audio mixer, they call it. Hey, Ava. So now I can do all the fun things. So I got some sound effects, and it has a voice changer. Hey, Southern girl. Southern gal, sorry. So I'll show you one voice it comes with. So with this one, it Rockabit, you had to make me laugh. Yes, new sounds, but also I can change my voice. So get ready for some fun. All right. So first story we're going to talk about is, oh, Emmy needs a gong sound, she says. So if you guys watch 90 Day Fiancé, you guys know who Angela Deem is. So, okay, Braze. This is my Luke, I am your father voice. Oh gosh, I'm gonna have fun with that. Okay. So, Angela Deem, she's an OG of 90 Day Fiancé. I think, probably the first season. It's probably way back to the first season. So she's always been a little controversial. She's very, very outspoken. She at times gets physical. You know, she's kind of like, honestly, she kind of reminds me of Bullhorn Betty, to be a little bit to be a little honest. So she recently had a lot of weight loss surgery. So you know, just I guess keep that in mind. But she just had like transformative weight loss surgery. So, you know. Oh, Robin, I guess you know who this is going to be about. So, anywho, she was on the Drew Barrymore show last week. I don't know exactly what day it was, but apparently, after the episode aired, people from all over petitioned for them to take all of the video clips down, everything off of basically CBS and YouTube. So I did find a channel that made kind of a clip of all of the kind of big, I guess, moments or parts of the interview that we should see, and then also some people reacting to it, because obviously, you know, not a lot of people like Angela. She ruffles a lot of feathers. Oh no. Hey, Crystal. 101 degrees out. We got lucky today. Rained last night, so it's been quite pleasant today. I'll say that. Okay. So this is the clip. I will drop the channel after this so I don't take the get the, you know, I don't veer off from the screen. So anywho, she was on the Drew Barrymore show. I don't know if Ross Matthews is always a co-host or if he was just here because it was a special occasion. But
there's one cast member who I am so obsessed with. She has brought the drama, the heart, the mayhem, the mischief, and the Meemaw.
So that's what she calls herself. She calls herself Meemaw because she has, I think, sole guardianship of like 7 of her grandkids. Like all of her grandkids, or all of her kids, I think, they lost custody of their kids. Yeah, kids lost custody of their kids. So if that tells you anything, you know.
Take a look.
The law said I have every right to with my car. That's my car, mother. I was right there.
Also, trigger warning. Is very verbally abusive, and she's going to be abusive to the car.
There's one person from all of 90 Day Fiance that is my absolute.
And I don't think that this was part of the Drew show. I think somebody may have stitched these together, this channel. So
favorite. And guess what? I couldn't sleep last night because she's here today.
The same woman that abuses a black man on a TV show is one of your favorites? That's very interesting. The same mother whose daughter is a child is one of your favorite cast members? Pray tell.
I mean,
It is beyond irresponsible and disappointing that Drew Barrymore and her co-host Ross platformed a well-known abuser like Angela Deem.
if my daddy was alive, he would have sat here and waited you to come over here and he would have hand slapped you right in your mouth.
Hey, Shauna. Yes, trigger warning. Oh, Rockabit, don't you get me started on the Mandela effect. So, again, I think this channel is stitching together all of the, you know, unpleasant things about Angela, but, you know, it goes to just saying, like, who are we giving a platform to? YouTube? We're talking to you also.
And slap me.
My dad would have beat Troy.
A garbage human being that
Oh my god, I had no idea she was on Maury. Hold on. Let's rewind that.
My daddy was alive, he would have sat here and waited you to come over here and he would have hand slapped you right in your mouth.
and slap me.
My dad would have beat Troy.
A garbage human being that fans of the show 90 Day Fiance have been actively trying to get fired for years.
So yes, a lot of fans have been petitioning to get Angela removed from the show because she is so violent. She was in the news recently for beating up her hairdresser in a hotel or something like that. So yeah, the thrusting move though, that one got me.
Years. And I find it baffling that no one from your team Googled this woman before you brought her on your show.
There's no reason. I don't give a goddamn about no money.
Calm down.
You and your goddamn money.
And to make matters worse, I feel like it's a virtual betrayal. Drew Barrymore, I never thought we would be here. Not the same nice lady that we see in the Adam Sandler movies.
All right.
So a lot of people like that I've read on different forums or where this has been posted are saying that they think Ross Matthews kind of set her up and that Drew just kind of went with it. I don't know how much how much truth there is to that. So, but I did read that in Drew's defense, but I don't know the whole story.
Drew, now I'm going to teach you one of the most important things a person can learn, okay? 90 Day Fiance. It's the best show of all time, right, everyone?
When Ross was explaining the 90 Day universe to Drew, we should have known that he wasn't an actual fan of the show by how he said it's the best show ever. Any actual fan of the show wouldn't say that because it is a love-hate relationship with the show.
It is. Oh my gosh. Like this last season, I haven't really been able to watch. I have to watch it. There's this show that they call Pillow Talk where they kind of go over clips. And so I've been watching it like that because it's too long. They put on people like fucking Angela and Gino and Jasmine. And it's just like, get new people or put on the people we like.
Actually about to make one of your biggest dreams come true right now.
That's right, Drew. You know that I am obsessed with reality TV, and I wanted to bring Ms. Barrymore into my world a little bit. So we're kicking off a new segment where I'm going to introduce you to some of my favorite reality stars. It's time for Ross's reality.
Then, of course, we get visuals of Ross's reality, and the audience is told to clap and cheer because there's teleprompters.
She always keeps it real, and today she's really here for the first time. I can't believe
Are you ready? You're going to meet her.
I'm ready. Angela Deem, come on out.
Drew gave him a huge opportunity to be on the show with her, and look at how he shows gratitude by kissing Dirty Bird butt. Wow, I guess all you need to impress Ross is a little bit of clout points, right? And I'm assuming that the self-proclaimed 90 Day Fiance expert is fully aware of all the names that Angela calls her husband Michael.
Listen. He's a goddamn retard.
Oh, I apologize. I didn't know that word was there. But that was when Michael ran away. I think I posted a short about that. I apologize. My neighbor's dog is fucking outside barking. And I thought there was going to be clips of the actual interview. Let's see. Okay.
Now, please take a seat. For starters, you look so stunning. Now, do I call you? Is Angie, Angela, Miss Deem? Can I call you Mima? What should I call you?
Call me Queen.
What? You can call me Queen? I'm so scared. Hey, Evil Queen Yaya. Thanks for being here. Yeah, I agree, Crystal. I mean, I know a lot of the shit in 90 Day Fiancé is definitely staged. So I agree that she is probably encouraged. When she brings the drama, it's like YouTube. People gravitate towards the dramatic shows. So, it's the same with reality TV. People are going to gravitate to the, the drama. I don't know why, but we love drama. Oh, what is wrong with us as a species? Huh?
The real queen is dead, and there's nothing royal about a violent hillbilly like Angela Deem. And she will often...
This guy has some really strong opinions on her. Like I said, the video was taken down of the interview. I wish I could play the
Say that
interview,
because
but this is all we got.
And there's nothing royal about a violent hillbilly like Angela Deem. And she will often refer to herself as the queen of reality TV on social media.
Oh,
Never, never.
God.
I say that because, you know, I back women.
Yeah, she backs women.
The queen of reality TV, I don't think so. Oh yeah, so then they put in here, and I'm not going to show it, video of her basically assaulting her hairdresser. This is her assaulting Liz when they were on The Last Resort. Not assaulting her, but she basically got like super in her face. Okay, let's see if I can play it without getting rid of it.
Talk to you. When did I? 100. And we're all queens, you know, and I say I'm queen of me. We're all queen of us, right? Of
Yeah.
me.
Look at Drew's face. She's probably thinking,
Drew's, oh gosh, it's so quick. I can't even go back 10 freaking seconds. I just wanted Drew's reaction.
And we're all queens, you know, and I say I'm queen of me. We're all queen of us, right? Of
Yeah.
me.
look at Drew's face. She's probably thinking to herself, that is one of the
That's what Drew's thinking.
dumbest things I've ever heard. This entire episode comes across incredibly disingenuous because you can tell that Ross knows nothing that he's talking about, but he's pretending to be this expert in all things reality TV in order to tap into that demographic, right? The problem with this is that you're not checking anything this woman says.
Okay, let's see if there's.
We have followed your whole love
thank you
story.
so much.
You traveling to
It is not a love story, Ross. Get your fucking, like, what are you talking about?
Nigeria, meeting for the first time, trying to get him his visa. You have appeared in 9 spin-off
So yes, like I said, she got weight loss surgery. So she looks a lot different.
series as well, okay?
I honestly think she looks better before the surgery. Okay. So let's see. Just get more of the interview.
Area so that all of the money could come through her.
Have you wrapped your head around what fame is for you?
No, I haven't. I'm just Meemaw now, you know. As much as I'm queen of me, I've always just been me, and I'm very honest. I think the time that we're living in now, that people don't like truth.
It is hilarious
Doesn't that sound like?
that throughout
Oh, sorry. Doesn't that sound like BHB? People just don't like the truth.
do another fellow. People hate me because I'm brutally honest.
And I have a way about saying it.
Yeah, you do. You
I
always
have-
keep it real, don't you?
I do, and I get a lot of hate for it. But at the end of the day, I don't care.
Yeah.
I pay taxes.
Yeah.
And by God, I'm gonna say what I want to say.
See, she's been. Oh, I wonder if Angela is one of BHB's like idols. Do you think she'd like want to hang out with Angela? I could see them being friends.
You know, I went and seen Lou because I really want a divorce. Why be married? I can do this without the aggravation. I don't smoke cigarettes till I talk to you.
I think
That honestly, though, was one of my favorite scenes ever because it was something that Angela says. It's crazy. Maybe I'll find the clip once and we'll play it.
see what all the fuss is about. I mean, I totally agree.
Drew, honey, stop it.
She's like, yeah, I totally see what the fuss is about. You are fucking crazy. I hope that's what Drew was thinking.
To 90 Day to find love. Was that the purpose of the journey?
Well, absolutely not, because I wasn't looking for love at 52. I was done. I was just going to raise my grandkids. I did all of it. I've had men.
Okay, so Angela doesn't bring this up on Drew's show for obvious reasons, but in the past, she was on Trisha, she was on Murray. This is a woman that has tried to get
Trisha?
famous for a very long time, and she didn't meet up with Michael in person until it was confirmed that she was going to be on the show 90 Day Fiance with him. Ross,
Oh, shit. That's interesting because she she blames Michael of using her for a green card. So like what? She's such a hypocrite.
I think I said it was a chicka chicka bow wow.
Yeah.
My God. That's what she reminds me of.
I think that's what I said when they asked me. Actually, 2 weeks I was there. We had sex 37 times in 2 weeks.
See, and then she's too overly like descriptive. She's always talking about their sex life. It's like, we do not care. I know it's like Drew's probably like, I better just smile and nod. I'm trying to click on your freaking comment, evil queen. I hate my Mac. She's like, let me just smile and nod so I know this bitch doesn't hurt me. Yes, she's always TMI.
Wow, what a trashy thing to say on Drew's show. And
Exactly.
you can tell that Drew is shooketh right now. Look at
Drew is shooketh. Oh gosh.
people think because I'm old, I can't remember nothing, but there ain't nothing wrong with my memory, honey. She's like something out of South Park, right? I think of that Honey Boo Boo parody episode.
He kept me calm because I'm very hyper, and I'll cuss you out in a minute and then come back and say, I'm sorry, I was wrong. But at that minute, you think I'm going to kill you, but I'm not, right? I'm just like, no, that's
Mhm.
you know.
Oh, I know.
And I'm the sweetest, really honest. I'm very giving.
No. We've never seen this woman apologize to Michael. That is an outright lie. In fact, their relationship is similar to that movie Norbit, because the minute she gets called out or caught cheating on Michael, she starts gaslighting him into believing that he's crazy and starts yelling at him until he drops the issue.
He calmed me down, and I thought, oh, he loves me, because no one's ever, to me, like made me feel loved. In a relationship, I was always the provider. They never worked. I always let them stay home, and I worked 2 or 3 days. But with Michael, it was different, right?
Well, that's your fault if that's the relationship you wanted.
Then,
if you made it this far into the video, I am so sorry. I'm sure that your brain hurts as well, because Angela has been lying through her fake teeth throughout this entire interview. The biggest lie she...
Oh my gosh, you guys. One episode, she showed us like her teeth appointment and like getting teeth. It was not okay. Right.
told was that her and Michael are still together present day, something we know not to be true.
How you're doing now?
That's real.
Are you still together right now?
Absolutely.
We've made countless videos about Michael escaping the Dirty Bird dungeon. They are no longer together present day, but I'm assuming that she said this because she doesn't want to get in trouble with TLC.
Drew, I gave you a 101 on 90 Day Fiance. Are you in?
It's so wonderful for me to hang
And she says, it's so wonderful.
out with someone who's like,
She's at a loss for words, and I don't think that's a good thing.
Ew, this is so cringe. Guilty.
My wet socks. I hope you enjoy.
All right, so let me take this off the screen. We'll drop the links. Oh God. So sorry. Blasting in my ear. This channel is called Your Wet Socks. So give them a follow if you shall wish to, but that is where I got the video from. All right, so next craziness that kind of happened 2 weeks ago, but has a news update now. So, Oaks Park, which is in Portland, Oregon. Some of you may have heard about this, and honestly, I have been scared to look at anything about this because this is my worst fear. So, there is a ride at Oaks Park. So, like I said, Oaks Park is an amusement park in Portland, Oregon. It's been open since 1905. Okay? So I guess just keep that in mind. It's kind of like a Coney Island, if you will. So this was June 20th. This story came out. So the mother of an atmosphere rider sued Oaks Park today after her 14-year-old daughter got stuck upside down for 25 minutes on June 14th on the malfunctioning pendulum ride. So that's the news story. We'll come back to that. But we'll switch to, oops, hold on. The original news story of this happening. All right.
Talk about a fearful Friday. 28 people are safe tonight, but that's after they were.
Could you imagine?
Stuck upside down on an amusement park ride for almost 30 long minutes. That was this afternoon at Portland's Oaks Amusement Park on the ride called Atmosphere. Thanks for joining us tonight at 10. I'm Elizabeth Din.
I'm Jeff Gianola. Portland Fire and Rescue say everyone made it down safely. They're okay tonight. Ariel Yakabazi joining us in the studio tonight. Ariel, you were there shortly after this happened. What exactly happened?
You know, pretty crazy story to end our week.
Yeah, what the fuck happened? Oh my gosh. Like, I would never go on an amusement ride again if this happened to me.
Right. Park officials say 28 people were suspended in the air, and you can see it right here, actually, once this video plays over here again. But this is when the ride was suspended, as you can see, in the 360-degree setting. So thankfully, park crews went into emergency procedure mode. They conducted emergency procedures and...
Nope. I honestly, lately don't trust many amusement park rides. I will go on anything that does not go upside down. Yeah, and staying away from that.
Called 911. But something they're still working to find out tonight is why the Atmosphere stopped midair.
In that moment, you really think about life, I guess.
Certainly a fearful Friday evening on the ride known.
Oh my God, that's sad. Somebody was literally you think about life. I mean, I get, I've seen Final Destination. I know what the hypotheticals are.
Known as the Atmosphere, living up to its name.
Praying to God, screaming for their life, throwing up, passing out. It was bad.
28 people stuck upside down for 25 minutes.
And I was just praying for them all.
One person with a pre-existing medical condition was sent to the hospital to be checked out. Thankfully, though, everyone else is okay.
The ride went up and the kids got stuck on the ride and it was just dangling. And somebody came in and said, hey, the kids are stuck on the ride. And I look up, sure enough, they were stuck on the ride.
Hey, the kids are stuck on the ride. Oh my gosh.
Portland Fire and Rescue arrived on scene within about 15 minutes, getting riders down in 30. John Harrell with PFNR telling us this ride is familiar to their crews.
I know that our high angle
What?
rope rescue team has specifically drilled as recently as last year on this ride and extrication of individuals from this ride.
And these two teens describing the terrifying moments that felt like ages.
25 minutes when you're just laying upside down, you never expect it. It's just crazy.
Oaks Amusement Park officials are still trying to find out exactly what caused the ride to stall.
Well, I hope they're never using that ride again.
They say they held an emergency response training at the Atmosphere. They say they thank the quick response time from first responders and their staff.
I'm thankful that they did what they did. It really makes me look at what I want to become and grow up and turn into that.
So that gentleman there.
That's cute. He wants to grow up in.
He actually wants to grow up and be a firefighter someday. So we got to see everybody in action. So here's some file footage behind me that we have of the Atmosphere. It's been in operation since 2021. And until today, it's...
Okay, so the park was built in 1905, but this ride, this ride has only been in operation since 2021. So the ride isn't that old.
Issues. So Jeff, Liz, as far as guests go, and if you want to, get a refund, you just got to keep your park bracelet and work with them to expedite the refund or rescheduling process. So
yeah. Okay. Anyways, we don't need to know how to do any of that. So now somebody's parents, a 14-year-old that got stuck upside down for 25 minutes on June 14th, has filed a lawsuit against Oak Park. So riders and I shouldn't laugh, but riders were screaming for their lives, throwing up, crying, passing out, and praying to God for 25 minutes until the ride was fully lowered to the ground. Reads the complaint filed by attorney Michael Fuller. The lawsuit filed in Multnomah County Circuit Court alleges that the Southeast Portland Amusement Park was negligent in failing to maintain and operate its atmosphere. Right? So I was supposed to say it. Atmosphere ride in a safe condition. Failing to have all the necessary tools on hand to promptly repair it when it broke, failing to warn riders of the dangers of the ride, and failing to keep the trapped riders updated during the incident. Holy shit. So those people just sat there, hung there, not even knowing what was going on. So 28 riders endured the ordeal. The park was evacuated and the incident has gotten international media attention. The plaintiff asks for $125,000 and a jury trial. Ooh, pick me, pick me. The investigation into the incident on Atmosphere is ongoing and I can't comment at this point, says Emily McKay, Oaks Park Marketing and Events Director, when asked about the lawsuit. This is the first of what will be likely several lawsuits against the park. Three more Atmosphere writers have retained lawyer. Ooh, not going to be good. So no major injuries were reported during the incident, though one writer with a pre-existing condition was taken to the hospital, according to McKay's written statement last week. So the plaintiff, well, we don't need to know her name. Yanada, though. That's interesting. We know a Yanetti. So it's mother of one of the writers. So the daughter it was a graduation trip to Oaks Park for herself and the rest of the 11 kids in her 8th grade class as a chart. Oh my gosh. Poor thing. So she organized the group. She said, hey, let's go to Oak Park. But she's regretting that choice. Of all of them were on the Atmosphere when it broke. Oh shit. Except for one boy who stayed below to hold purses and shoot video. That kid is like thanking his lucky stars. He took video right when the ride started, thinking it was going to be a fun memory. Oh, well, it'll be a memory. I mean, so okay. I mean, this is really sad, but it said all the kids in the carpool back to the suburbs complained of headaches due to the intracranial pressure from being upside down for so long. Body ache, soreness in the shoulder and clavicle area, and neck bruises. Due to the harness were the main complaints on days 2 and 3. On the ride, Evie and her friends cried and held hands, but when they looked at each other for comfort, they all had vampire bloodshot red eyes. Oh gosh. Due to the blood pooling in their heads. So no 14-year-old should have a near-death experience like that on what should be a fun day celebrating 8th grade graduation. The family is in process of seeking trauma-informed therapy for Evie right away. Well, good. I hope she gets the help she needs, because that would be super traumatizing. Even, like I said, this is my worst fear. So even at my age, I would probably be pretty traumatized. Okay. So they decided to take legal action in both response to the malfunction, but also due to Oaks Park response. So because they, probably because it took so long, they should have had some way to turn the ride off, in my opinion, and get them back right side up, right? Oh, I know, SoFo. That's what I said. That's bye-bye to Oaks Park. So far the amusement park has only given her a refund on her ride. Oh my god. For the ride bracelet. So it must be one of those places where you buy like a bracelet for all unlimited rides or whatever. A meeting on the Midway soon after the riders were lowered down and medically checked out by Portland Fire and Rescue rubbed her mom the wrong way. The man identified himself as the Oaks Park CEO. They said, we might be able to do a free day pass or something. Oh gosh. And the kids were staring at him dumbfounded. Then he said, we definitely hope you'll come back to the park and we hope you'll even go on the ride again. Oh, hell no, I would not. I probably wouldn't go back to, I would definitely not go back to the park. Nope. The kids laughed when he said that. I'm glad they laughed at him. These kids are still covered in vomit, traumatizing, and shaking. And he's saying, we hope you come back and go on the ride. I just could not believe it. Yeah, so they're very insensitive. And it says she does not does not plan to use her free day pass to Oaks Park. Good for you, Evie. I'm glad. Gotta hold your own, girl. All right. Well, I apologize if that story was traumatizing. It kind of was to me, but I just thought it was the craziest story because, yeah, that's a class action, Betty. Take notes. Yeah, I just thought that was a crazy story because how freaking horrible would it be to be stuck on a ride upside down? Like, I'm scared of going upside down at all on rides, especially because where I grew up, there was a water park and there was it was one of those water parks, I guess, kind of like this, where they do like graduation class trips. So it was a graduation class trip for I think high school seniors. And they all decided to rush the water slide. And you have somebody at the top of the ride, like spacing the people out so that there's not a lot of weight on one point of the slide to break it. They all rushed and just started going down the water slides, one at like probably 30 of them. I'll have to look up the story. But the slide ended up breaking. And it was this crazy freaking story. I can't remember if there was any fatalities in that. I'll have to look it up. But I've always been skeptical of amusement parks. Yeah, it was pretty wild. Okay, so we're gonna switch gears. Karen Reed. So the Commonwealth has rested. Yes, I know. Because they're not, because those rights have to be put up and taken down so much. It's like, who knows? Who knows if they're checking that shit? Hey, cheese. Hey, cheese. How's it going? I hope you're doing well. Just hoping to freak him out a little bit. Okay. So, yeah, those have to be like taken down and picked back up and taken down. So it's like, who knows if those things are maintained well? It didn't change? If it didn't change, that's so embarrassing. Okay. So so the Commonwealth has rested. I still don't really understand what they think that their case is. These jurors are probably so fucking confused, but I guess that's good for Karen Reed, and I do believe she's innocent. So we are gonna look at this video, which is basically titled. Sorry. Okay, so it's did Alan Lally, who is the Commonwealth, prove his case? Have they proved the case? Oh, yeah. That's pretty cool though, Shauna. I know. And they always give me a creepy feeling. Okay, so after we watch this, I will put the link in the chat of the channel. But the Commonwealth has rested, like I said. The defense started questioning their witnesses on, what was it, Friday? And oh my God, I wanted to punch Lally in his freaking face because he was so mean to my girl Marie Phillips, the sweetest little old lady who just wants to do good by the experience that she has. And Lally was being so rude to her. Okay. Okay, so K-Brace, for me, that was the aha moment so far, but against the Commonwealth case, because it was like, okay, then he wasn't like, that kid's like, case fucking closed, right? Oh my gosh. I haven't been showing what I was
Before this
showing.
trial even started,
You
the two
guys.
most
Okay. Rookie move. Rookie move. All right. We're gonna do that again.
And the injuries that you observed, would that be consistent with injuries that you observed in other cases of a pedestrian collision?
They're not the classic pedestrian injuries that we observe, no.
Yeah, I didn't put the evidence there, so.
Well, you didn't.
That was a pretty funny moment. Well, I know you didn't.
Before this trial even started, the two most important witnesses to me were the state's reconstructionist who was going to tell us how Karen Reed allegedly hit John O'Keefe with her car, and the medical examiner to explain how the injuries were related to being struck by a vehicle.
And I think these are the two witnesses everybody was waiting for, because it's the only two witnesses that were supposed to give us an expert opinion on what they believe happened. But in my opinion, they did not deliver at least what Lally wanted them to deliver. Or, they didn't convince me that it happened. So
what I did here was take what Adam Lally said in the opening statements he was going to prove in this case, and then I added clips of what came out in trial. Here we go.
Here's some testimony from Trooper Joseph Hall, who's in a specialized unit within the state police called PAWS for short, but essentially a collision analysis and reconstruction section.
Okay, first things first, that's adorable that it's called Cars.
Within the Massachusetts State Police. His examination of the vehicle, his examination of the scene, his examination of specifically some Toyota texture, because Lexus is essentially owned by Toyota or vice versa. So there is some data that he's able to recover from that and back the vehicle up based on its known locations and travel.
Good night, Rockabit. Thanks for being here. And it's painful all over again hearing Lally's opening statement. He was so boring. He was boring from the beginning. He's boring still. He tried to be Jackson when he was cross-examining, which was super funny.
he cycles, essentially opines, he'll opine that around 12:45 in the morning, when the vehicle was in front of the residence on Fairview, that for some perceptible period of time, that vehicle travels over 60 feet in reverse at over approximately 24.2 miles per hour.
That right there is the only thing he says in his opening about Trooper Paul. Do you know why? Do you know why?
I hope you tell us why.
Let's see.
You were asked, does that remind you that you were asked by a grand juror if you could calculate how far a body would move having been struck by a vehicle?
Yes.
And you indicated, quote, yeah, there's certain calculations we can do with that, but figure out if the car backed up, hit somebody, and then they go a certain amount of distance, and it's based on miles per hour, the speed of the vehicle, striking vehicle, and stuff.
I know he said and stuff a lot. A lot. He was not a seasoned testifier.
Remember saying that?
Yes.
What did you mean by stuff?
I don't know.
You said that
I don't know. Let's go back. What do you mean by stuff? I don't know. I guess the only other answer you could have said was, well, stuff and things.
Vehicle and stuff. Remember saying that?
Yeah.
Oh my God, he laughed at it. He laughed. Okay, one more time.
They go a certain amount of distance, and it's based on miles per hour, the speed of the vehicle, striking vehicle, and stuff. Remember saying that?
Yes.
What did you mean by stuff?
I don't know.
You said that the calculations would be.
And Jackson just, he did enough damage to himself. Jackson doesn't even need to follow up on that one.
Based on miles per hour and stuff. Did you ever do a stuff to test that? Grand juror's question.
No, we cannot calculate anything from this collision.
Say that one more time.
We cannot calculate anything from this collision.
He just reminds me of like a kid that's in trouble and he's at the principal's office and he's trying to lie to the principal that him and his friends didn't, break the basketball hoop. That's the vibes he's giving me.
Who's we?
Me, the royal we, me.
Hi, the royal we.
Well, John O'Keefe's weight, right?
What's that?
John O'Keefe's weight, 217 pounds, right?
Yes.
Did you know that?
I don't know his weight, no.
You know the weight of the vehicle?
Yes.
Okay, so this guy's supposed to, excuse me, hold on. So this guy's supposed to explain to the jurors how this accident happened, how her car hit him and killed him, and he doesn't even know the victim's weight.
What's the weight of the vehicle? Gross weight.
What's the gross weight?
Yeah.
I think it's approximately 7,300.
Oh my God, geez, he is like a masculine JLR. That's funny. Ooh, we should get him and Angela Deem together. Be like Betty and JLR.
Pounds.
Yeah. Were you able to calculate the mass of the vehicle?
I did not calculate the mass of the vehicle.
Well, you told the grand jury that you were.
Okay, so he doesn't know John O'Keefe's weight. He didn't calculate the mass of the vehicle, and he's supposed to explain to the jurors how this accident happened.
Okay. We're planning on doing that kind of stuff to calculate how far a person would travel being struck at that speed with a car of that weight. You didn't do those calculations?
No, because the calculations would vastly underestimate the speed of the vehicle.
You testified.
But aren't calculations supposed to like calculate like whatever your calculation is, you're supposed to like calculate that in? I don't know why. This guy makes my head hurt.
Again, my report isn't done yet. I'm going to look into it. I'm looking into all that stuff. End quote, correct?
Yes.
There's that word again. It's been more than 2 years since that statement at the grand jury.
Okay, and just so you guys know, that's not me heavy breathing into the mic. I think that is either the witness or the judge. The judge has been a heavy breather this whole trial. So if you hear heavy breathing, it's one of these bitches.
Is your report finished?
Yes, it is.
Did you engage in any of those calculations?
I looked into it. This type of collision I would not be able to use the formulas for this type of collision.
Based on your expert opinion, you believe that he was projected through the air to his final resting place.
That's not what I'm saying.
But you said there's no evidence that he rolled.
And there's no evidence that he flew through the air either.
Exactly. There have been a few witnesses that have really like kind of turned into defense witnesses, and it's so funny. I don't know why it's funny. I mean, I'm sure it's humorous to everybody else, but yeah.
Right? Exactly.
Objection.
Sustained.
You said on Friday that in your experience, people tend to lose objects that are not strapped to them. Is that right?
Yes.
In other words, get hit by something, car, truck, bus, whatever, train, and if you have something in your hand, boom, you lose it, you drop it. If it's not strapped to you, correct?
Correct.
How do you suppose that Mr. O'Keefe, in your opinion, held on to that glass cup that was found right next to him over the course of 30 feet being projected?
Objection.
I'll allow it. Do you have a theory on that?
I don't know. I mean, it just could have been with him the whole way. I don't know.
This is kind of like another my cousin Vinny moment. So you're telling me that the law of physics don't exist on your stove?
No, I wasn't there, so I don't know how the glass stayed with his body and went with him to the final rest.
I mean, it's just common sense. You have to believe that it was in his hand. He held on to it the entire time it was being projected.
It's possibly, it could have been in his hand, it could have been tucked next to his clothing. Did
you say tucked in?
I mean, like, could have been next to his body. So when he projected, the glass was with his body as it was all.
So the crazy thing is this guy is throwing out so many theories that I don't know how the jurors are not seeing reasonable doubt when he doesn't even fucking know what happened.
Also flying, so there's
Yes. I don't get it.
There's a number of reasons why the glass, because it also got projected with the body while he was holding it.
I thought you said on Friday, and you disagreed with me, that people drop things and they're hit.
Yes, but I think not everything it tends to fly off. I mean, some stuff flies off, some stuff will stay on. It's just.
I feel like Jackson is just like, you know, when a kid is telling you like this super crazy story and you kind of have to just sit there and nod and just say, okay, all right. And then what? And then what happened next? And then what after that? Oh, just hold on. Let me mute.
It's not uncommon to find a piece of clothing and stuff,
6, 7, 8.
I can't hear you. You're trailing off. And did I catch a niner in there? Were you calling from a walkie-talkie?
No, it was cordless.
that you find at the scene.
Piece of clothing.
Like clothing.
Sorry. I don't know if you guys heard, but there was a loud siren in the background of my house. Okay. I'm just going to go back up.
6, 7, 8.
I can't hear you. You're trailing off. And did I catch a niner in there? Were you calling from a walkie-talkie?
No, it was cordless.
That you find at the scene.
Piece of clothing.
Like clothing, like shoes. I mean, it's like shoes and stuff like that to come off the body during a pedestrian crash.
Well, that's not what I asked.
I know. I'm just saying. You asked me. You said what I just. I'm just responding to what you said, and trying to make sure you understand what I'm saying.
No, I don't. But I'll ask another question.
What you just said
And I feel like Jackson was also very kind to this gentleman. He could have ripped him a little bit more apart, but I think he knew that the jurors would probably see that as like an asshole move because this guy was obviously shaken. At times I feel like I thought he was gonna cry. I almost cried for him, not gonna lie.
Is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
Shoes are strapped on by definition, right?
Yes, but it's very common for shoes to come off.
How about a cell phone?
Cell phone, yeah, it depends. Depends on where it is.
It was under his body.
Okay.
Okay.
How do you account for that? He held onto a cell phone with one hand and held on.
See, and they've just all been so defensive. Like, why? Why are you being so defensive, yo?
Yep.
Objection.
Sustained. Ask it differently.
Okay, so Pookie says, who would take an investigation seriously when they collected the evidence with the leaf blower and solo cups? So, I know I've said this before, so I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself, but they, when I first heard about this case, it was probably a year ago when Dietz first told me about it. So once all like the Glare Turtle Boy beats him, everyone was fucking fighting about it. I kind of backed off because I'm like, this is overshadowing the actual case. I'll wait till the trial starts before I start getting into all this craziness. But the Glare always said, there's no way this is going to trial. There's no way this is going to trial. I remember he would say that early on. And now I have to tend to agree that, I mean, at first I'm like, oh, okay, like, what evidence do they have? This should never have gone to trial. Yeah, so it was even before that, Evil Queen. So it was right before Dietz left. She was on a panel, or might have been her channel, but she said she was diving into Karen Reed, and then Sleuthy Goosey got sent out the Google sheet and all that stuff. So, and then she took her break with her, her daughter and the baby and everything. But yeah, for a while I've been like, holy crap, this doesn't seem right. Like, none of this seems right.
If the cell phone was found under his torso, under his body, what's your theory on how that cell phone ended up flying 30 feet?
It just did.
Just did. And somehow, as he landed, tucked that cell phone underneath his body so he landed on top of it.
It just did. That's the evidence at the scene. I can't.
It just did. Like, that should not be.
I didn't put the evidence there, so.
Well, you didn't.
I did love that. Well, you didn't.
All right, so jurors, I've told you before, lawyers cannot make comments, so disregard it. Mr. Jackson, don't do it again.
I understand. So
You understand, but don't do it. Your answer is always, I understand. Don't do it.
Yes, Sean.
And lastly, you'll also hear from Dr. Irene Sportibello and Dr. Renee Stonebridge.
Okay, so now this is going to be Lally's opening statement, and then we're going to see what the witness testified.
Of the Hospital Chief Medical Examiner in regards to their
Good night, Emmy. Have a good day back.
various examinations. Dr. Stonebridge is a neuropathologist. She essentially examines brain findings. Dr. Irene Sportibello is a forensic pathologist who does the sort of autopsy and medical examination of Mr. O'Keefe's body. You'll hear about the variety of sort of injuries that she observed over Mr. O'Keefe's body from him.
Is John O'Keefe's dad sleeping? Do you think he's sleeping because Lally put him to sleep?
In particular, you'll hear testimony in regards to lacerations to the right back of his hand. It's the testimony in regard to an initial sort of skull fracture that occurs to the back of his head, and then sort of a radiating skull fracture that goes throughout his skull, which then.
So Lally reminds me, okay, those that have seen My Cousin Vinny, Lally reminds me of the public defender that the friend gets, and his opening statement is just like, like, doesn't make sense.
Then leads to subdural hemorrhage, or essentially bleeding on the brain and then swelling of the brain, which then causes a condition called ecchymosis, which then sort of leads to the swelling of both the Mr. O'Keefe's eyes that was observed by the initial response. You will hear.
Okay, they're probably going to get into it, but I want to point out that Lally just said that his black eyes were due to the laceration on the back of his head, but I think the medical examiner probably the medical examiner. I wonder if they'll show the lady with the tattoos, but I swear she says he actually has, like, based on, like, examining his brain, he was hit on the sides of his head, and that's why he had black eyes.
Various testimony about sort of issues in regard to his pancreas, how that's indicative of hypothermia.
And the injuries that you observed, would that be consistent with injuries that you observed in other cases of a pedestrian collision?
They're not the classic pedestrian injuries that we observe, no.
You testified regarding a number of injuries that you're.
Then why are we here? Why are we here? If the medical examiner's opinion is that it's not consistent with a pedestrian vehicle accident, why are we here?
Referred to as blunt impact injuries, correct?
Yes.
And to be clear, blunt impact injuries are a very, very large category that includes contusions, lacerations, abrasions, and fractures.
Correct.
And you've testified similarly that a blunt object can also refer to a large range of objects. Is that right?
Correct.
And I think yesterday you gave the example of a microphone being a blunt object.
Correct.
It could also include something like a baseball bat.
Correct.
A dumbbell.
Could be.
The ground.
Yes.
Or a German Shepherd's claws.
Claws. Possibly, yes.
Oh, shit. This lady's basically, the doctor, she is basically proving all the defense's theories.
You did examine John O'Keefe's arm, correct?
Yes.
You observed no significant bruising.
Correct.
No fractures.
Correct.
And no broken bones.
Correct.
I'd like to talk about the injuries to John O'Keefe's face. You testified that Mr. O'Keefe had a laceration on his right upper eyelid.
Correct.
You also described multiple abrasions on his nose.
2, yes.
Although these injuries may not have been the ultimate cause of his death, you'd agree that less severe injuries can still be very important in interpreting the manner or the context in which that person died, correct?
Correct.
And in furtherance of that, you've been taught that when doing an autopsy, details matter,
Correct.
no matter how small.
Correct.
And that's one of the reasons as a medical examiner, you have to notate every single injury you find on a person.
Correct.
Are these the facial injuries that you were testifying to earlier?
Yes.
And could you kind of describe in that photograph what injuries you observed to his face?
The orbital ecchymosis on both eyes, the small laceration to the right eyelid, the abrasions on the nose.
And you testified that the injuries to his face were also the result of a blunt force trauma.
Correct.
Okay, so the injuries to his face were also a blunt force. So that's probably why his eyes are black, Lally.
So that's the the laceration to the eye and the 2 abrasions that we see there on his nose.
Correct.
And you agree that those injuries don't just manifest out of nowhere.
Oh gosh, sorry guys. I was trying to type in the chat and I lost my screen. Hold on. Okay.
Would you agree that his injuries to his face are consistent with having been punched?
That is a possibility.
So she also says that him being punched in the face could be a possibility of his injuries. Okay.
Take that down, Mr. Bates. Thank you. Your internal examination notes also cite a tongue laceration on the right front of the victim's tongue. Do you recall that?
Yes.
And you'd agree that a tongue laceration can be also caused by blunt force trauma.
Correct.
And that could also include something like a punch to the victim's face or jaw.
That's a possibility.
In addition to the facial injuries, you described that Mr. O'Keefe had a significant laceration on the back of his head.
He had 1 laceration to the back of his head. Correct.
I believe we saw a photograph of that a little
Yes.
bit earlier. You testified that the skin around the laceration on the back of his head was also scratched. Do you recall
Yes,
that?
I do.
But you did not testify as to how you opined that might have happened.
No.
Would you agree that someone could certainly get scratched on the back of their head if they were, for instance, dragged on the ground?
It's possible.
All right. So kind of opening the door to the jurors that he could have been dragged and moved. I bet they'll circle back to that in closing the closing statements.
You described the open wound to the back of his head as a laceration, which is sort of a blunt force injury that's not the result of sharp force trauma. Is that right?
Yes.
And you'd agree that Mr. O'Keefe's head injury came from some sort of blow to the back of the head, whether it be an object or the ground. Is that right?
Yes.
Objection.
And that injury,
Also, this attorney, Eliza Little, I think this is like her first major case. I feel like did so well with this cross-examination of the medical examiner to really lay out kind of to the jury that there are so many possibilities, you know? So therefore layering the reasonable doubt that they don't know what happened to John O'Keefe.
could be the result of falling backward from a standing position onto concrete.
It's possible.
It could also be the result of being struck with a large object such as a baseball bat or a barbell.
It's possible.
In other words, it was an irregular laceration that resulted from some blunt force trauma.
Correct.
Now, again, as I said, this is the first of 2 times that I have an opportunity to address you directly. And I thank you very much for your attention today, and I thank you for the participation of your close attention. As we go through all of the witnesses and all the evidence in this case. That second time that I do get to address you, what I'll be asking you, based on the evidence, and again, as the board has instructed you, you are the sole arbiters of the facts of this case. You are the ones who find what the facts, I reiterate that, facts, and what the evidence demonstrates in this case. What I submit to you at that time, that second time, is that the only true and just verdict based on that is that the defendant, Karen Reed, is guilty of murder in the second degree, striking the victim, Mr. O'Keefe, with her car, knocking him back onto the ground, striking his head on the ground, causing the bleeding in his brain, swelling, and then leaving him there for several hours in a blizzard, with temperatures in the teens, wind swirling around, snow piling up on his body until she comes.
I feel like his when he talks, and especially this opening statement, is just an entire run-on sentence. He never speaks with punctuation. You're supposed to still speak with punctuation.
With Mrs. McCabe and Mrs. Roberts, just after 6 a.m. And that she is also guilty of vehicular manslaughter, operating under the influence of liquor, and that she is also guilty of leaving the scene after causing.
Just for a second, Lally's goatee, what is happening? It's like the mustache is brown, but he keeps the beard gray? Interesting choice.
Thank you very much for this.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Lally.
For me, just based on those 2 witnesses alone, I could never convict Karen Reed. I just couldn't. They can't explain to me how it happened, and they don't really say that the injuries are from the accident. In fact, they say they could be from blunt force trauma other than a car accident. But that's just me. Let me know what you guys...
Same these, sir. All right, let me get this channel. I think it's called like The Shaming of Jay. Yeah, The Shaming of Jay. Okay, so this is the channel of the video that we just watched. All right, so Kate Bray says, so how could a tail light that's possibly a foot square cause damages that are bigger than that? And how can somebody be hit by a car, backed over by a car, and have no injuries to the bottom part of their body? He has no bruises, no scratches, no broken bones on the bottom half of his body. So that's just, and I think even the doctor that the defense put on the stand, Dr. Marie Phillips, that Lally was atrocious to, she said that she ruled out a pedestrian incident almost immediately because of the fact that there were no injuries to the bottom half of his body. They won't let her testify to that, though, which is maddening and annoying. So we'll see. I have my theories on what actually happened, and they involve Colin, and I think that is why everybody is going to such length to cover it up, because Colin, they didn't want Colin to serve a life sentence. All right. If you're Lally, how pissed are you at the defense case? I think that's why Lally's trying to cross-examine like Jackson does or Yannetti, because he's jealous. He's hella jelly. Oh, yeah. Well, that's the thing. Is like they're charging Karen Reed with the DUI, yet all of the people that testified basically admitted on the stand that they were drinking and driving. It's just like hypocrisy at its finest. Yes, no tire marks. How is the car coming back at you? The bumper would hit his legs first. And he had nothing on his legs, no bruises. Yeah. The handedness convinced me of anything. Let's go back to physics. The high-impact polyplastic that makes the taillight would need more mass and force. Yeah, yes. And it's like, what? Did the taillight explode? Yes, no. So I think Higgins. Yeah, I think Higgins has something. It's Colin and Higgins. But I think the fact that Colin is involved is the reason why everybody's going to such great lengths to cover it up, because they're, protecting a child. I've been so caught up in the trial that I lost the fact that we'll likely never know what happened. I know, and that is the sad thing. We will never know what happened. We will never know who did it. John O'Keefe will never get justice. And I did hear from, obviously the rumor mill, but I think it might have been Turtle Boy, that Paul O'Keefe, his brother, like seemed super upset on Friday that, Lally rested and there were no bombshells. He expected bombshells. He was promised bombshells. Exactly. If something was hit by the car, if it was lighter than the force of the car, it would just move his arm out of the way. What the fuck did who write me? What you talking about, Willis? All right. Yeah. Yeah. And I the other night, just, for curiosity, I Googled dog bites, and they look a lot similar. And I can see if, like, I don't know how often Colin goes to the Albert's house, to like Brian at his uncle's house. But if Chloe was at all protective of Colin Albert, I could see her attacking. And even if Brian Albert was just, trying to get Colin off of John or something like that, I could see the dog attacking. Yeah. Yeah, it's, and I don't know how a tail light explodes like that. It's just so weird. Oh, no, you, okay. Okay, so this is Lisa's theory. The boys were just down to scare him with Chloe and maybe rough him up a little. Chloe tried to take a few bites. He fell back and hit his head on the. Oh, okay. That makes sense. But when we found out how drunk John was, I can also see something with that and him kind of maybe being sloppy drunk, trying to pretend to fight, but maybe taking it too far. I don't know. Oh, Pookie, there's like crazy theories about the dog. Yeah, if you go on Reddit and just search about Chloe, there's like crazy theories about what is going on with her. Yeah. Yeah, and I do think they planned on it being possibly the plow driver. But yeah, I don't think Karen Reed was the first choice for the cover up. I think they figured she she didn't remember anything, and she said, "Did I hit him?" But they were like, "Oh, we'll just pretend like she admitted it." Yeah. I think the Rainbow Bridge is definitely where Chloe is, and there's like all these theories about a pool and filling in a pool. Yes, yep, they sold the house. They redid the basement apparently. And that house has been like in the family for years. And got rid of Chloe. He retired from Boston Police Department. I think his brother filled in a pool, so all sketchy things. So I think the defense is supposed to rest tomorrow. We'll see if that happens because they have 3 witnesses. I feel like Lally might try and drag it out. I hope not, because he's put the jurors through a lot of nonsense already. So I hope Lally just moves through it. I hope Bev is like, "Lally, can we hurry this up?" like she did to the defense. And I hope we get closing arguments on Tuesday. That would be sick. Yep, all the phones are rehome too. Oh yeah, I know. Crunkle. I know, I love Uncle Runkle. He's hilarious. I always watch his recaps, even if I've watched, that day of the trial somewhere else. I will always catch his recaps. I'll always catch Lawyer I usually watch live with Emily D. Baker just because she's really good at explaining what's happening, and like I feel like she went in super neutral without knowing anything, so I can trust kind of kind of her opinions, and if something is super fucking crazy and if she's outraged, but I know that I have the right to be outraged. I'm just kidding. All right. Well, that is all I have for tonight. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. Like I said, I'm going to hopefully try and get to a more regular streaming schedule. So keep your eyes out. Big Brother starts July 17th, so I at least know from there I'll be regularly streaming because that is my jam. Alrighty. Well, I hope you guys have a beautiful evening and a wonderful Monday. If you're catching on the replay, thank you for replaying. I definitely appreciate it. If you could hit the like on your way out. And I will catch you guys later.
Can you hear the sound? Can't stop us now. We're not back in town, know what we're doing. Things are about to change, it's evolution. Voices shake the ground, you feel it moving. We're the revolution.